Hello everybody, Grace here. Welcome back to my channel, or a big hello and welcome if you are new. In this journal with me, I am going to be sharing some lovely happy mail that I received and then using that to actually create a new little mini journal to work in and then creating some pages in that as well. Before we start, this video is super late. I mentioned in my previous video, I am experiencing some technical difficulties and I won't bore you with the details, but my Mac is going to get thrown out of a window sometime very soon. So anyway, this lovely surprise happy mail arrived recently. I had no idea it was coming and I've just realised I forgot to ask the person if it was okay to share their details and their name before I started this voiceover, so I'm not going to, just in case, but they know who they are and I love it. Thank you so much. And there was a particular item in here that really inspired me and I was like, oh my goodness, this is perfect for a journal cover. I mean, I don't know if they intended for that to happen. I'm guessing it's some sort of packaging, I don't know, but there's the little piece there, just perfect. Had to create a journal out of that. And as you saw, there were lots of like little bits and pieces and papers. And once I have created the little journal, I will use some of these pieces to make some journal pages. So first for the journal, I wanted to put something on the inside of it, like another paper, just to make it a lot more sturdy. Chose this random one from my stash. It's by Prima Marketing. I think cut it down to size. It wasn't quite wide enough, like it was like just about 1/4 of an inch or so smaller on the width. So after I stick it down, I'm going to put some washi tape on either side. And you're probably thinking right now, that's not a whole lot of glue to put down for a cover that you want to stay there. And the reason is I'm going to go and stitch the cover on my sewing machine. But as per usual, I don't tend to show me doing stuff on my sewing machine because there's terrible lighting in that corner of my studio, and then also I have to worry about me being in the frame and ugh. So where the score marks are, I did refold and then use a bone folder to extra score those, so you know the new paper would bend in the right places. And then, as I said, I took it off to my sewing machine. Now I thought there was some footage of me showing you the stitching, but apparently either I forgot or I accidentally edited it out, so sorry about that. And then I'm doing this in the style of like one of my creative journals that I sell in my shop. So rather than using old book pages and stuff, it's all lovely different types of paper. I have Conqueror laid, Conqueror wove, craft, 100 GSM vellum, parchment paper, some vintage typewriter paper, some 120 GSM white, and some of my own handmade paper, and probably a couple of things that I'm missing. I did try to cut the pages to size on camera, but I'm so used to using my large big guillotine when I make journals, I couldn't do it. But all I really do is when making a journal like this, like the creative journals that I sell in my store, the papers that will be towards the middle of the signature are actually cut slightly shorter than the ones on the outside, so they don't stick out. I'm probably not explaining that very well. Maybe I'll do another video on it sometime. That just there was my bookbinding cradle. I always get asked about that when it's shown. I cannot link it because where I got it from don't have it anymore, but as I said, it's called a bookbinding cradle, so you can look up if you're interested in getting one. And then I use just a piece of felt to punch the holes in the cover because I couldn't use my bookbinding cradle because it was a flat spine and I don't want to punch some holes into my desk. And then a very simple saddle stitch to attach the signature to the cover. One day I will learn like the proper bookbinding, like Coptic stitching, but this is a signal signature, so even if I did know how to do that, I wouldn't need to do it in this case. I think I cut 15 papers to size for the signature, so that's 30 sides, not 30 sides, 30 pages or 60 sides, and I think the size is slightly smaller than A6, so I realised to some of you that may not sound like a mini journal, but it kind of is to me because I very rarely work in anything smaller than regular or regular wide size. And I'm going to finish off with threading some ribbon around the stitching on the spine. This is something I randomly came up with when I was making my Christmas journals last year. You may have seen that video and I fell in love with the idea, so now I'm doing it on pretty much everything. I want to add it as an add-on option for my creative journals in my store, but it's if you have an Etsy shop with like lots of different options within one listing, you will know how much of a headache it is to do that, because it already has like, how do I explain this without going on forever? I can't just add the option like add on ribbon 50p or whatever. I have to add it on to every single option. So A5 craft cover, B6 white cover, A6 pattern cover. Every single option needs, it's just, ugh, Etsy need to sort the way they do their listings out. I believe it's different depending on where you live. Sometimes things you can do on Etsy actually are different in America, I've found out. So that's wonderful for the rest of the world. A particularly annoying example of this is shipping settings. So I and many others no longer ship to Germany because of this law that they brought in where you have to pay them a tax for the packaging you send and for them to recycle it, which is fine. I'm not actually against it in principle, but the amount you have to pay just to register is more than I sell to Germany in a year anyway. So anyway, I can't do that. But there is no way to remove just Germany off my shipping profile. I would have to, like, because I can put EU or and rest of Europe. The only way I'd be able to do that is to list every single EU country or European country separately, and I just can't do that. But I'm told in the US you can just remove one country, so that's I'm totally fine about that. I'm not bitter about that whatsoever. Anyway, slight tangent there. I finished the journal and then I started creating in it, and I had this overwhelming urge to create something in the front cover. And I don't usually do this, but I felt like it in the moment. Most of the things I'm adding are either from my Happy Mail, or I recently picked up a few cute little bits from the range, so those are going in there too. I particularly love that vellum piece that I put down, how you can kind of see the flower pattern behind it as well. Big fan of that. But just a very, very simple collage type thing on that cover. And where I've added that little label sticker, I will probably add the dates or something, or maybe the start date. I can just go back and add the start date for this journal, and maybe at the end I can do a little end date collage cluster as well. Then onto the first page. So my plan for this journal is to make it a lot more simple than what I do in my regular junk journal. So just little bits of collage here and there with some room for journaling as well. I'm not going to start thinking about making like fancy folds and pockets and tags and all that sort of thing. Using bits and pieces that are on my desk. That little sticker I put down, for example, that's one from my shop, from my Regency collection, but I had a bunch of my sample sticker sheets that were really miscut, so I had to keep them for myself. So that's where that little sticker is from. And then little scraps and pieces. I have this box where I keep cute paper scraps and then I forget to use it, and it is sort of, it's difficult to close at the moment. Oh, there's me. I forgot I hadn't stuck down that larger piece of paper and was wondering why it kept popping back up again. What was I saying? Yes, point being, using up some bits and scraps in this journal. I'm also starting, or have started at this point, the 100-day challenge. A lot of people will do something like I'm making a mixed media tag every day or a little painting every day. I'm being a little bit more simple with that, and I've just said I'm going to do a journal page every day. You may have seen this already on Instagram. If you're not following me over there, then why not go do that immediately, unless you don't have Instagram, of course. Anyway, point being that it's not as exciting as what a lot of people do for these challenges, but it's something simple that I wanted to commit to. I've said before, I've struggled with my creativity and my creative mojo ever since some big stuff went down in 2022. So it's been a while now, and yes, I need to find that mojo, and I thought I would see if it would work if I committed to doing something creative every single day. The last few things I did on this page is add some sort of, it's not highlights, lowlights, if you will, with my brown Stabilo All pencil, and then used an aqua brush to activate the colour and just blend it and blur it a little bit. While I remember, I want to say a huge thank you to those of you who commented on my last video where I was asking for like advice and opinions basically on what content I should create. I'm going to talk more about it at a different time in a different video, But I did just want to say thank you to everyone who commented, because I really do appreciate it. If any of you are doing the 100-day challenge, I would love to hear about it and what you're doing every day for the challenge. I'm hoping it will mean I will have some more shorter videos, like, you know, the TikTok-y reel type videos as well, because if I am sitting down and doing something simple every day, where I can, I might film it. Alternatively, I could film it and then put it all together in one YouTube video, and it could be like my week of journaling. But I can do one or the other, because those videos are filmed in different aspect ratios and different orientations. So yeah, I have to choose one or the other. Talking about what I'm doing on screen for a second, you know, I would love to be one of those people who can like really intelligently like talk about color theory and why this works with that and why I did that and the reasons for that being over there. But I just can't, for the most part, because generally speaking, it's just I thought it looked pretty and I thought it worked. I mean, there's probably more going on subconsciously in my head about like color theory and whatnot that I can actually elocute here. But if you're looking for deep, meaningful conversation about creativity, this probably isn't the place for that. No, not really. That sticker of the lady I stuck down is one of my Regency sticker flakes from my shop. I just wanted to point out, if you're thinking why doesn't she have any feet, it's because she's one of the stickers that went wrong and I couldn't sell, so I get to have it instead. Oh, also, if you like that kind of sticker, like I've got the Edwardian ones, the Regency ones, I have a new one coming out soon, which is Victorian, and Victorian kind of spans quite a long time, but like this is like the big poofy like 1840s kind of dresses, if that interests you. I'm really like this one, but there are loads and loads of individual stickers, so it's taking me a while to do all the technical stuff that is behind making them into stickers. The stamping on the craft page, I'm just such a big fan of white ink on craft. It's one of my favourite things, and the stamp is a Kaiser Craft handwriting one, which is pretty much my favourite stamp of all time. And then here on the opposite page, I've done a very simple decoration because I wanted to leave a lot more room on this page for journaling. So just a few bits and pieces, but I do really like the way that one turned out as well. I'm finishing off with a few transfer stickers. That one at the bottom right, actually I wanted it more in the corner, but I accidentally put it in the wrong place and it was too late to do anything about it. That's me there looking for my clip, which I didn't even need in the moment. Does anybody else do that? Like, you can't find something and you don't even need it in that moment, but you can't carry on until you've found the thing. Is that just me, or does anybody else do that? Anyway, I shall add my journaling here. This is one of my favourite journaling pens. It is a Platinum 3776 with a soft fine nib. I can't remember what the ink is, but it's probably diamine and some sort of maybe sepia? I don't remember, I'm sorry. And you will also probably be treated to a couple of glimpses, there it was, of the frizzy top of my head, because I keep forgetting, and after all this time, it's never going to change, that there is a camera right above my head. So there we go. Enjoy that. Anyway, with my journaling done, those are my pages and my little mini-ish journal complete. So thank you so much for watching. A big thank you to the person who sent me that lovely happy mail as well. It was a wonderful surprise on a day that I particularly needed it as well. Relevant links to products used will be in the description box, as well as links to my shop and various other things that are also there. And I think that's all I have to say. Please leave me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. Chat to me in the comments, and I am gonna go. Thank you so much again. Bye bye.